Yo, Caesar here, and welcome back everyone to season 2 of Proximity GT Sport Racing League. After quite an eventful and successful season 1, if I can say that, we're back again with quite a few familiar names, few new names in the mix, which promises to be quite an exciting season ahead of us. 10 race season, equal to what we had in season 1. But unlike season 1, we have 80% tracks that are original GT Sport tracks, and a couple of them, Laguna Seca and Interlagos, that were not part of season 1 calendar, have been included this season as well. Again, unlike season 1, this season will feature mixed combination of tracks and the categories of cars. So we had season 1 full of GT3s. Season 2, you can see that the cars driving around the track are Group 4 categories, or GT4 as they're known. And on other tracks, you'll see GR1, GR2, and GR3s as well. So a lot of strategies to be taken into consideration. And the fuel mixture, the tire wear, they've been all tried and tested to encourage maximum strategy use, wheel-to-wheel racing, and hopefully quite an eventful, action-packed races every week for everyone to see. Abby to Speed, our season 1 winner, is yet to join the session. No idea where he is, but we are all hoping that he's able to join the session and start his title defense on a positive note for him. It will be a shame not to see him on the track on the first race of the season. So let's hope he's here in the session. Other guys, P2 finishing. P2. I'm sorry, I'm just mixing up my words. P2 was won by the Wildest Monk, followed by RKV in P3. So well done to them, of course, but surprisingly, personally for myself, was not seeing Ancient Pleb in the top 3, one of the quickest guy in the country, if I can claim that. That's totally my claim. One of the quickest guy in the game in India, and seeing him not finishing in the top 3 was a bit of a surprise, and I'm sure other drivers would have felt the same way. But new season, new race. I'm sure he would be raring to go and take away the championship title from Abbey to Speed. So while we wait on for others and for the race to start, I'll take a quick 1-minute break, and I'll be right back soon. Right, so we're back again for yet another start for season 2 race 1. We have had quite a lot of glitches here, and yeah, it's over an hour since we made our first attempt to start the race, and we are yet to complete 1 lap after an hour. And hoping this time, really hoping this time that this works, and if it doesn't, then we might have to cancel the race. Let everyone get a rolling start. Eyes on the mini map. Hopefully no one goes around. No one is going around. Oh, for once no one is going around, which is a great news, but Fun Anywhere is not here. Not sure why. Maybe he was the... Yeah, I can change the camera angle as well, as you can see. So, which is good, and we are off finally for race 1 of season 2. Finally, after a million attempts, we are able to proceed with our race, and we stay on board with Super Mario OP in P2, as he'll get a massive slipstream up until turn 1, and you can see Pleb is weaving side by side, trying to break that slipstream and defend his position, but Bugatti behind him is closing down on both of them, getting a double slipstream. But I think this should be the place where... Oh, he makes contact! That must have given him damage, and yes, we can see front bumper has damage on it, and Flipper has moved up into P2. No damage there. Ancient Pleb, fortunately for him, there's no damage as well. Further down the field, Monk is in P5 on Hards. RKV P6. Fun anyway is still here, surprisingly. Alright, so this is good news for everyone. Everyone else looks unharmed by... Oh, there is one damage here. That's Super Mario OP. So, except Super Mario, everyone has damage on their cars. And now this is a tricky section where the drivers have to really negotiate their cars inch perfect, go as close to the wall as possible. And everyone has done that. Super Mario, meanwhile, still nursing that damage. And this will it's not going to help him a bit as he makes contact once again, but there is no damage. And you can see he is struggling on the handling front. Clownster meanwhile is defending from Ancient Pleb, but I think everyone should wait for the main long straight, as that will be the perfect opportunity for everyone to make their overtakes. So biggest disadvantage going into that long straight is being in P1, as he'll be just a sitting duck. And in that case it is Clownster Knight. So Clownster Knight has not made the smartest move of going for the move here. It will be smarter, and which he has done now, to let Super Mario OP through, and which he has, and now we will see the effect of Slipstream. You can already see he is closing down on Super Mario, and he will go for the move, but oh, he is shutting down the doors. I think that was a fair move. No damage done there. Further down, while he makes the move, he is defending quite hard. They're bump drafting, which is it's just intelligent, I must say, as Ancient Pleb in the background goes for the move. He's up into the lead, and RKV meanwhile in his Lamborghini, his move up into P2. So this will be 4 wide going into turn 1. Hopefully no one gets any damage out of that, and RKV goes into the lead. So we have had 4 race leaders on just one straight in the second lap of this race, as there's a bit of a contact. RKV has to avoid the wall at all costs, which he does, so that he gets no damage and comes out of it rather clean. Yeah, Super Mario OP drifts around turn 2, but there's a carnage behind, and RKV has spun. He had some contact with I believe Clownster and one other driver. I don't really remember who that was, but yeah, RKV has come out worse. He was leading for a few seconds, a few corners back, but no, that has not helped his cause. Monk meanwhile has suffered a front bumper damage, rear bumper damage for Fun Anywhere. Clownster has got a damage as well. Ancient Pleb meanwhile, no damage at all, is comfortably on Racing Soft's compound, I must say. Up into P1, and the pace that he has over everyone else, this is a perfect opportunity for him to pull away, of course not get any damage in the process from the rest of the field. So we should keep an eye out. Remember, everyone has to use all the 3 compound tires available to them. That's soft, medium and hard. So they it's expected of them to play by the rules, but this will be checked anyway by the stewards at the end of the race. So for the back down the field, as Super Mario sends it down the inside, he is suffering quite a lot of damage to his car. He pushes Glenn got a bit, and there's a bit of contact on the wall, and the front axle, or differential axle rather, that's damage for Glenn. Not good news, but more damage is on the car of Super Mario OP. Will anyone pit in these circumstances? No one pits. Red Dot Blue, who has no damage at all. There is someone pitting, couple of guys, Glenn and Monk, who have pitted. Glenn on medium, Monk on hard. So one of them will switch the tire compound, preferably, or rather expectedly it will be Monk, who I believe was on the hards, so he should get rid of those hard as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Ancient Pleb has built up a gap of over 2 seconds on lap 3, and Clownster is fighting for P2 with Fun Anywhere further down the field. It's Red Dot Blue and Super Mario going for P4, not too far away from Clownster and Fun Anywhere, who are battling for P2 on the grid. RKV, after that unfortunate incident with no fault of his, is down into P6, and yeah, you can see he is there's no power in his car, and he is suffering from downforce. I mean, but Archie is comparatively less damage, is down into P7, closing down on him. Meanwhile, fight for P2 still continues between Fun Anywhere and Clownster. Oh, I see Fun Anywhere has managed to overtake Clownster that I missed. I apologize for that, but they are about to come to the main straight, so that should give Clowns a perfect opportunity to retake P2 from Fun Anyway, but he should show some patience behind him, not go for the move before the corner starts, so he maybe use some bump drafting. Fun Anyway is defending, so again, not the smartest move to defend for a position there when you know a long corner is coming up. Clowns are going a bit deep, but he will have a better launch of the penultimate corner, if I can say that, as yeah, Bugatti with a superior top end speed and the slipstream. This will be an easy move, and you can see the gap. It's closing down rather rapidly. It's just under 210 now, under 110 now, and yeah, he moves to the right. Fun Anyway doesn't even defend that, as you know there's no point, and Clownster crosses the line ahead of Fun Anyway, but this will give Fun Anyway another chance to retake P2. I mean, that's how long this main straight is. As I said, there's no back straight on this track, there's only one main straight. But Fun Anywhere is not closing up on him as he would have liked. Maybe he's saving fuel, you never know, as fuel saving is one of the important aspects of this race. Both of these guys are suffering from some form of vehicle damage. Meanwhile, Red Dot Blue has managed to pull away from Super Mario, who is suffering a lot of damage, I'm afraid. RKV, not a good sight for him. Wildest Monk, who made his pit stop, is now free of any damage on a set of fresh mediums. Oh, sorry about that. As Abby Thakur, again, no damage there, so that's a good news for him. Old teammates, Abby and Wildest Monk. Glenn, who had damage, I believe, has gone into the pits and put on a set of hard tires. Archie, meanwhile, very much further back into P10, and Flipper even further back into P11. Pleb, meanwhile, is comfortably almost 5 seconds ahead of Clownster, as these two still continue to fight on, with Red Dot Blue closing in on the fight. So the longer these guys fight, the better it is for Red Dot Blue. As you can see, he's just under 2 seconds away from these two, and that gap will come down. Right, we'll stay on board with Fun Anyway, and the key here to stay in the lead even after overtaking is to make the move as late as possible. I mean, the straight is so long that even if you make your move around here, you'll still be at a disadvantage, unless it's the final lap, of course. So you'll be at a disadvantage otherwise to get overtaken by the end of the straight and turn one rather. So, but I don't see him closing in onto him that much. Maybe that's because of the damage that he's suffering, as he cannot go much beyond. But he is closing in now, which is good news for him. So, Clownster smartly should let this position go. It's a long race ahead, still half an hour to go. We are 9.5 minutes into this race, and smartly so, thinking of a long-term strategy here. They both seem to have pulled a bit of a gap to Red Dot Blue, and this is, I think, exactly what these two needs to do. Work as a team for now, as you know, Red Dot Blue will look to close in on these two. So these two needs to work together. Forget about who needs to be in the front. If they want to finish on the podium, both of them, they need to work together, and that's exactly what they're doing as of now. No damage. Oh, the Clownster, I see, has suffered some form of front bumper damage. I think he wasn't suffering from any, or maybe he was. I forgot. But Red Dot Blue is without any damage, so this is perfect opportunity for him, and he's on the hard tires as well, so definitely much better condition tire than oh, you can see the gap that is closed down on them. Now he's just under a second behind, so Clownster is losing a lot of time to Fun Anywhere. Now he's almost 9/10 away from Fun Anywhere, so something must have happened that we managed to miss, and Red Dot Blue has taken full advantage of that, as we for a tiny moment saw. Oh, he's almost sent it out the inside. Not really sure why he did that, but now This is a perfect opportunity for Red or Blue to make his move on the Bugatti rather, and he is flashing his light to let him know that he is coming for the attack. But one advantage that Clownster has is he has the slipstream from Fun Anyway, who's running Marlboro livery, and yeah, Bugatti with the help of slipstream takes back P2, but yeah, slipping right back to take any advantage is Red or Blue, who goes past Fun Anywhere up into P3, but will he go for the move? He is up into P2, but Clownster has the inside line, but Clownster smartly just files up behind them, and now it's up to Red. Oh, there is a move attempt. This is not the smartest thing, I must say. From end, there's a bit of a contact, but luckily there's no more damage done to the damage they already had. But yeah, this is not the smartest move from I think Fun Anyway, who made the move on the inside. So the only thing that they should be working now is, even though they are rivals on track, is to work together and lose as little time as possible to Red or Blue. But as we've seen, Red or Blue has no damage whatsoever. Oh, he hits the wall on the exit. So Red or Blue has no damage at all, and with damage to both of these guys, Clownster and Fun Anywhere, this should be an easy task for him to pull away from these two. And the tire disadvantage that both of them are carrying, you can see. In fact, Clownster is running more tire deck than Fun Anywhere. Fun Anywhere has massive advantage over him at this stage, but even bigger advantage is Red or Blue's. Further up the field, we'll keep an eye on the time difference between him and Red or Blue. Red or Blue is now having a massive tire advantage on Ancient Pleb as well. So will we see Ancient Pleb pinning in? Fuel wise, he looks alright for maybe 2 to 3 laps more, but he is on the left hand side of the track, so maybe he is going in. And yeah, he is definitely pinning in. Now from the source, which compound is he going in for? Pretty sure he will be refueling as well. We'll just have to wait and see. Fun Anyways in the pits as well, so soft compound runners are making their pit stops. Clownster decides to stay out for one more lap. Not really sure why, but he loses a massive amount of time doing that, as Fun Anyway will have come out of the pits with fresher tires and all the damage being taken care of in the pits. Red or Blue on the hards was in P2 when Pleb made his pit stop, so it will be interesting to see where he comes out of the pits whenever he decides to pit, once his hard compound tire goes off, which will be a long time. And speaking of time, I think his fuel will run out before his tire wear kicks in. Let's see, where is Pleb? Pleb is on the hard, so he's definitely on a different compound, so medium tire is the only one that he needs to be on at this point of time. Abitar code on the racing soft with no damage is on the one soft, so will he defend? How much will he defend? We'll have to wait and see. Glenling is on the hard compound tires, and so is Fun Anywhere. Fun Anywhere meanwhile has found another damage, or maybe he refused to be served for his damage, and I think this is the exact damage that he had before he made his pit stop. So I think yeah, he just refused to be served and probably saved time. He should have gone for damage repair, I think, but let's see. I mean, it's still 25 minutes in the race to go. Further back down the field, Super Mario on his own, running on the medium, Flipper on the racing soft with 4/10 seconds of penalty, being closely chased down by Archie on much better medium tires. RKV, I mean, race leader for a few seconds before being involved in quite a horrific crash down into pillars. And Red or Blue has come into the pits. Fuel wise, yeah, fuel is the only issue here. Tire compound wise, there's no issue as such. Whereas Pleb, so Pleb is using all the slipstream, all the help he can get from Habitago to probably retake the lead. Clownster, meanwhile, is extending his stint on the soft, so pretty bold there. Red Dot Blue comes out on the medium compound tires in P4 ahead of Glenn. So he was on the hard, so he has used 2 compounds, so he used to use soft now. So how much soft and mediums he will use, only time will tell. Further back, Pleb hasn't been able. Oh, he has got damage. Oh, somehow, somewhere, he has managed to get himself front bumper damage, and Abitakur does show that he has damage on his rear bumper. So maybe some collision happened between these two. I mean, all the incidents are happening when I'm not looking at them, so that sucks. Clowns, meanwhile, look at his tire wear. And yeah, I mean, judging by the fuel condition, I think he has to make his pit stop. And when he makes his pit stop, we'll have to keep an eye out on Fun Anyway, who's currently running in P8. Remember, Clownster was just behind Fun Anyway when he made his pit stop. So will the undercut work, and how much that undercut will work, we'll have to wait and see once Clownster pits in. And I believe he will pit in. I mean, he has to pit in by the end of this laps, as Pleb is still playing the patient game. Further down the field, Red Dot Blue is still being closely followed by Glenn. And further down the field, Super Mario is being chased by Monk on the fresh softs. And further down the field is Fun Anywhere versus Archie. So everyone is in the pairs except Clownster and the guys running at the bottom of the pack. Now, this is the long straight where Ancient Pleb, oh, he is side by side, so not the best place. He has to file right behind him for now to get any advantage of the slipstream. You can see 200 kph, so not much of a difference now, but now we'll see the effect of slipstream kicking in. I think Abitakur, Clownster is in the pits, and so is Pleb. Pleb was on the hards, suffering from front bumper damage. No tire change for him, and he just served himself for a bumper repair, which is good to see. Red Dot Blue has managed to overtake him, so extra pit stop hasn't helped Pleb, as Pleb has been overtaken by Glenn as well. So a guy who's running P1 before his mid pit stop is now down into P3. So a lot has happened, courtesy one little damage to his front bumper, and he's lost 2 positions in the process. Remember, the second pit stop didn't feature any tire change or fuel input. As you further down the field, it's a 3-way fight for P4 between Super Mario, Clownster and Monk. Monk is still nursing rear bumper damage, but no damage as such on Super Mario. And oh, Wireless Monk has front bumper damage as well. So yeah, definitely some contact must have been made between Monk and Clownster, which will definitely benefit Super Mario out of these 3, and he should be able to pull away at least on the straights. And Pleb is closing down on Glenn. You can see the time that's coming down, 10th every moment that goes, because 8 tenths now, 7 tenths now, 7.5 tenths, 6.5 tenths, 5.5 tenths, 4.5 tenths. I can't even speak that quickly. So he's managed to catch up to him so rapidly, even though they're both on the same compound. Tire weight is not so much different, and oh, he has managed to make the move. But further down the field, there's a lot of battles going on track, which is good to see. But Red Dot Blue has managed to pull away from this battle, and Pleb is now, I think, finally free to catch up to Red Dot Blue. But the battle for P4 is still continuing between these 3, 2 Lamborghinis and 1 Bugatti. Klaus is going to send it down the inside. He thinks about it, and yes, he sticks it, and there's a bit of a contact. Sends Super Mario OP bit deep, but this will turn head over heels once this race, once this straight starts, as Clowns will be on the back foot rather quickly, and Monk files up right behind him to take full opportunity of the double toe behind him. As let's have a quick look for the back. RKV has closed down. Oh, he has damage all around his car, which is not good. But let's just go back up. Clownster still holding on to P3, not yet overtaken. But now look at this double Lamborghini overtake on Cloudster. There's nothing Cloudster can do. I think the smartest thing here would be to just wait and let these two guys go ahead. There is still we are halfway through the race already. Time flew rather quickly thanks to the eventful race that we've been having. All this slight contact, but no damage done luckily. And now oh, there's a bit of a contact there, a bit of a love tap to Super Mario OP, telling him to make a move. Oh, there's a bit of a damage. Oh, there's more damage. Oh, what is Super Mario doing? Not the cleanest of doing. And no pit maneuver move we've seen there, and this has ruined the race for Super Mario OP, and he won't be happy with that. He won't be happy with that. I'm not really sure what is going on between those two. Monk had the line on the inside, but still some contact was being made, and was that move done in retaliation, or it was just a racing incident? I'll leave that up to stewards. Fortunately, I have that in the footage in the stream, so maybe that will help in deciding. And as Super Mario clearly and visibly not happy in the messages, as expected. I mean, no racer is when they're getting taken out, when they're fighting for good position on the track. And you can see Glenn and Pleb, they are quite close together. Red Dot Blue has managed to pull away from Pleb, or should I say Pleb is not able to close on the gap to Red Dot Blue. So maybe we have a contender who can challenge besides Abbey to speed for the wins. And yeah, it's a good headache to have. I mean, witnessing different winners and not knowing that who could win the race by the end is quite an interesting aspect for the races. Glenn is in the pits from Hearts. He was out of the fuel, so yeah, it was more of a forced pit stop. And you can see Bugatti, meanwhile, Monk not even thinking or defending that. He knows that he's a sitting duck, and Clownster will take that position away from him, and on the inside as well. So playing the patient game here, and that's what I think every driver should do on tracks like these, where where the track features such long straights, and you can save fuel, which will come in handy when you are into the pits and you are refueling as they go side by side through turn 2. And beautiful racing from these two. That's how everyone should race. Give each other enough space, enough respect to have a good, clean and watchable action for the viewers and the commentators alike. Right, so as I was saying, I mean, in tracks like these, drivers should take into consideration that they save fuel, wait for the opportunity of making their moves on the other drivers, rather than in sections like these where the risk chances of risk are much more higher than the reward. As Wildest Monk is still side by side, Clownster is defending slightly in this corner, but I think Monk knows here that he can afford to stay behind him up until the final hairpin. But what this is doing is allowing Fun Anywhere to close on the gap to Monk and Clownster, and he is well within the DRS. Oh, I'm sorry, again another Formula One term that I used, being an F1 racer, and slipstream range, that's the word, slipstream range. But now he's out of it, so not having the best entry to the final hairpin, and that has resulted in him being out of the slipstream range. And this will help both of these guys, Monk and Clownster. They can use each other's slipstream. Monk, as Clownster goes really close to the barrier there, so Monk can use the slipstream, pull away a gap, and you can see the gap is increasing slowly, but it is definitely increasing. 1.9 seconds in front of Fun Anywhere, so definitely out of the slipstream range. And is Monk giving him taps from behind? Yeah, he is. He's bump drafting, which is quite a smart thing to do. Will he go for the move into turn 1? No, he brakes just on time. No late braking stuff here. Not yet though. There's still almost 15 minutes to go in this race. So that amounts to, in normal circumstances, maybe 5 to 6 laps more if they are not making any more pit stops. So Yeah, not a lot of action, or not a lot of race left rather. So 4 or 5 laps of this track will go by rather quickly. Further up the field, red or blue is pulling away a gap, but he has a 5-second penalty and damage as well to his front wing. But remember, he has just soft compound to 1, and pleb has medium compound to 1, so tire advantage and race advantage in general is with red dot blue. So but you know, we can still see some percent turn. Maybe red dot blue can spin out. I hope not, but maybe he can, and you know, the advantage can change rather quickly. Let's get back to the place where all the action is. Fun anyways, back into the action, into the fight for P3, as Monk is flashing his light to Clownster, maybe to tell him that get a move on. We have a visitor behind. You can see all 3 of them filing rather nicely behind each other, and now I think Clownster will have to play another patient game and let these Lambos overtake him. He is 6/10 away from these guys. He is still pulling away somehow. Does he have damage? He has rear bumper damage as opposed to front bumper damage by Monk, as 3 of them just go past the finish line to start lap 13. Yeah, so advantage is definitely with Fun Anywhere, who is using double slipstream from both of them, and Fun Anywhere moves up into P4. RKV meanwhile back goes into the pits on Sokoma. Look at the slipstream advantage he has got. Bugatti is in a Lamborghini Huracan sandwich, and he has been overtaken, but will Clownster defend? He brakes, but yeah, the move was done well before the turn 1 started. So beautiful move by Fun Anywhere from P5 up into the podium position. But as I said, just few more laps to go, considering the track length and the time that's remaining. This should turn out to be quite an eventful finish. Up the field, the gap is closing down definitely now between Red Dot Blue and Ancient Pleb. It was around 7.5 seconds if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but definitely it was at 5.5 seconds. So interesting race ahead. Let's see how that turns out, but quite a good battle for P3 here, I must say. It's quite a close battle, and especially on a street circuit like this, where chances of getting damage and going into the wall is quite high. These 3 have managed to keep it rather clean on the track. Further down the field, Glenn is on his own in the P6, his debut race member in the league, so good amount of points there. He is indicating, not really sure, or oh yeah, he is indicating right. So yeah, following the rules of the roads, ladies and gentlemen. Indicate when you have to go right, like our Glenn is. Coming back to the race, Flipper is down into P7 again in a world of his own. RKV is followed up closely by Archie and by Abby Thakur as well, who is on a 2-second penalty. So we have a 3-way fight as Ancient Pleb in P2 decides to pit. He is refueling and he will go on the mediums if I remember correctly. Monk and Fun Anywhere are in the pits as well. So remember, all 3 compounds are mandatory. Pleb is on the medium, so he has used all his tire compound. I'm not really sure what compound Monk and Fun Anywhere had to use, but we'll have a look at that later. Meanwhile, Red Dot Blue is up still in the lead. He has soft compound to use. I remember that quite well. Clownster is up into P2. Remember, he suffered that rear bumper damage at the start of the race, and he hasn't served it yet. Will he serve in his next and possibly final pit stop? We'll have to wait and see. I think he will not serve, he'll not repair the damage, because the chances of losing P2 are quite high with his competitors in Fun Anyway and Monk have already made their pit stop. So I think this is the right time to go into the pits. Or maybe if he hasn't used Racing Hard till now, which I'm not really sure of, but if he hasn't used Hards, maybe he can stretch. But no, the fuel is the issue here. I just realized the fuel is the issue definitely, so he has to pit here. So where he will come out in relation to those two, Fun Anywhere and Wildest Monk, we'll have to wait and see. Pleb, meanwhile, has to push with all his might. Red Dot Blue is about to take the final hairpin onto the main straight. Will he go into the pits? That Lambo looks quite stunning, I must say. So now, yeah, back to the racing. So will he make his pit stop? I think he should, without losing too much time, or maybe he can afford to go for one more lap. We just have to wait and see. He is moving to the left. Is he going in the pits? He is. Yes, he is getting into the pits. So will we see? We will definitely see refueling, that's for sure. He has to go on the racing softs. That's the compound. How much will he fuel? Where is Pleb? Yeah, so Pleb is just approaching the tunnel now. Clownster is finally in the pits. Rather forced. You can see Red Dot Blue is on the soft, and he is already out of the pits. You can see right there through the pits. If you could see his Huracan. But one thing is the penalty issue. So 4.1 seconds, and he is 2.5 seconds, or maybe under 2 seconds by the time turn 1 arrives. So Pleb is closing in rather quickly, and now he's under the slipstream range. So this is turning out to be rather interesting. Now battle for the lead. Oh, what a race it has turned out to be. What a topsy-turvy race, and this is what we wanted to see in Proximity Racing League. No one really knows who's gonna finish where, and for once, when Pleb looked to finish his race comfortably, he was down into P3, and Red Dot Blue took full advantage of that. And now as we approach our race finish, possibly 3, maybe max 4 laps to go. Look at this now. Pleb is right on his tail. Red Dot Blue has to play the strategically and gain maximum out of it. He is on the soft compound tires, remember. So this is the zone where he will have some form of advantage behind him. But Pleb, being a smart driver that he is, will stay behind. And now, oh, something I forgot. Clownster has repaired his front rear bumper, but it has resulted in a massive loss, and Glenn hits the wall and suffers another damage. Not good for Glenn, who was in P5, remember. I'm sorry, I'm getting a sore throat now. This race is really getting interesting, but Clownster has lost massive amount of time by getting that repaired. Maybe he has overfueled his car. Not really sure, but definitely he has lost out, and so has Monk as well. Look at the gap that Fun Anywhere and Monk have built up to each other. Monk is on a much heavier car now, as we can see. Let's get back our eyes on the action now, as the really long straight starts now. Fuel wise, both are very much equal quantity. But Pleb, meanwhile, Red Dot Blue, I don't think he'll go for the defense right now. He has another maybe 3 laps to go after this, so this should be interesting and to see how he strategizes his race as he pulls to the right, which will be the inside line for turn 1, and retakes the lead. So after falling P3 after his first pit stop, and now Red Dot Blue falling in right behind him. But the advantage, the massive disadvantage he has, is he is suffering from a 3.3 seconds penalty, and you can see he smartly falls behind. But no, courtesy his better grip, or maybe late braking, he went a bit deep, and that allowed Ancient Pleb to go even further, hold on to his position. So advantage that Pleb has right now is the 3.1 seconds penalty that the Red Dot Blue has, because he has to slow down on the straights and through the corners to get rid of it. So it's definitely advantage Pleb at the moment. So will we see Pleb with his first race win or of the season 2, or Red Dot Blue with his first race win on his league debut? That will be interesting to see. Yeah, so Pleb makes slight contact, but no damage done there. Further down the field, any battle that we can keep our eyes on? I mean, Glenn and Glenn slowed down rather. I mean, he slowed down a lot. Not sure what happened, but he is down in P9. He was in P5, remember, it was Glenn. Not a good race. Towards the end, he is on racing soft, so that's one advantage he'll have over Archie. Right, so we have 10 runners. Super Mario has left the session after that crash. Unfortunate crash, I must say. Red Dot Blue has managed to get that penalty timer down by 4/10, but that is still not enough as 4.5 minutes remain, which means we could have another 2 laps more after this. And the time will come down between Pleb and RW, as this is the only battle that we have on track. So this is the battle we'll stay, and this is the battle that will give out the maximum points to whoever crosses the finish line by the time the timer strikes 0. So 2.7, the massive disadvantage is what Red or Blue is at, but the advantage he has right now is the slipstream, and he goes and retakes the lead. And how much Pleb will take advantage of that? He knows that Red or Blue is having that amount of penalty, but you know how he can strategize is as he's still in 2.7. So one thing that Blue needs to take care of, and I think he knows that this pretty well, is to take the corners rather slower than he would usually, and that's the only way he can get rid of those penalties. Else this track is known to be a power track. Even these corners are quite fast, as he sets the best best sector time rather of anyone in the race. Fastest lap, I must say. This league, what's the word? I can't even think straight now. Awards the drive with the fastest lap, and that belongs to Wildest Monk with a 2:08.076. So will we see that time get beaten? Possibly. I mean, he is still setting purple lap times, and with the lighter fuel and the fresh soft tires, I think that's very much a possibility, courtesy the slipstream that he got at the start of the lap. So by how much? Let's just wait and see. Let's stay on board with Pleb, and let's stay literally on board inboard with Pleb. And you can see Red Dot Blue is ghosting, so he must be getting rid of his penalties. 2.2, so half a second gone off right there in the braking zone. So this is helping him, but it's still not enough, I feel. 2 minutes 20 seconds to go. I think this could be the final lap if they cross the line before the timer runs to 2 minutes 7 seconds. There is the finish line. Is this the final lap? Final lap? No, this will be the final lap for fun anyway. I mean, let's stay on board here. I mean, this is the only battle that we have here. Will Pleb go for the move? He is thinking about it. I think he has seen. Obviously, he has seen. I don't think he has seen the penalty that the time that Red Dot Blue lost in the braking zone, and half second is a big chunk of time to be lost. And Pleb won't be taking any prisoners here, so he has made his move, and I think he should hold on to his lead. And I think it's everything to lose now for Red Dot Blue from here, because he is the car in second, and the more he slows down to get rid of it, the better advantage will the Pleb has over him. Could have worked otherwise if he wasn't the lead. Maybe could have taken the corners much slower than he normally would, but yeah. Purple is, speaking of fast lap, Red Dot Blue did manage to beat that time with a 2:07.7, so he will take that bonus fastest lap point unless someone else takes that away from him, as we should be crossing the finish line for the final time. I believe the checkered flag will fall down as he loses another 1/10 of penalty, and I think Red Dot Blue realizes that yeah, this is his fate in the race, and nothing that he can do. But still, he is trying though. He is on the outside. Will he send it on the outside? Not the best place to you know, make the overtake move, especially when it's especially when it could be the final lap. But let's stay on board. I think this should be the final time they cross, so let's stay on board with our race winner here. And as the countdown, I mean, yes, 5 seconds, so yeah, definitely this is how the race will end. Pleb taking the checkered flag for the first time in season 1. He wins the race in Tokyo under the night sky. What a beautiful race, what an eventful race from Pleb. Beautiful drive, well done to him. Further down the field, fun anywhere. After that initial incident, finishes in P3. Monk, I'm sure Super Mario will send it to the stewards for his incident with him and Monk. Clownster, meanwhile, finishing in P5 after his rather clean and good battle between him and Monk and Fun anyway. RKV, not a race that he would have hoped for, finishing down in P6. A beautiful Lamborghini, I must say. Flipper finishing in P7, closely followed by Abitako and Glenn, who... oh, yeah. And Archie rounding off the field in last in P10, and that's it. That is done, and that is the result. So 3 seconds penalty in the end for Red Dot Blue, as we have Angel, our first victorious of Season 2, who started on pole for this race, running the Nürburgring livery. Hence, as the glitch is back, but a perfect time to be back. I'm glad it stayed out. So right there we have it. Let's have a look at the race result. Ancient Pleb winning from pole, but not after providing us with a wonderful race between him and Red Dot Blue. Congratulations to both of them and Fun Anywhere for rounding off the podium for race 1. Fastest lap goes to Red Dot Blue as well, so that's 1 bonus point for him. Rounding off the field in P4 is the Wildest Monk, in P5 Clownster Knight, P6 goes to RKV, P7 to Flipper, P8 to Abitako, P9 to Glenn, and P10 to Archie. The only DNF was Super Mario OP. And yeah, I mean, whoever stuck on till this time, it took rather long than it should have. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and I definitely had quite a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, I was getting frustrated because of the race not starting, but in the end it did, and I'm glad it did, and I'm glad it provided us with so much action throughout the race. So until next week, and hopefully next week will be a much smoother affair, it's Caesar signing off, and good night.